this up or down, it's up to you how you want to do it. You can flip that up and it gives you a better view. You can look with both eyes or whatever you want to do. Tapes in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is your record right here and then...
Yeah, that should be recorded. Yeah, I'm sure that's record, that button.
Get up.
Alright.
Get up. Someone else around this camera up here. Just walk around and do it.
Why? You're not going to do it?
Well, I'll do it, bro. I want to know how to work it first.
Well, this is what you do. Push that red button to record.
Andy Rose tipping it up. Ryan Nicodem. Rose gets the tip, and the Cardinals have the basketball to start the game. Traveling from right to left across your sundial. With the basketball down low, the Cardinals get it inside to Andy Moline, lays it off the glass and in. 2-0 Cardinals lead in the early going. Into the front court with the basketball, right-hand side, Werdinger, leading scorer for the Papermakers. Drives baseline, cut off there by Rose. Back out top for Reeder with the basketball on the left-hand side to Valentine. Chad Valentine, ball high over his head, looking inside, nothing there. Back out top for Reeder. Cross-court pass loose to the Fond du Lac Cardinals.
Very nice defense by Fond du Lac. Overplaying man-to-man. Kimberly has yet to get a shot off. We're just underway. Fondy's got an easy hoop for Andy Moline underneath. So a good start for the Redbirds here tonight.
Down low on the baseline, right-hand side, 17-footer on the way for Drew Diener is good. Cardinals jump out to a 4-0 lead 1 minute into this game. Into the front court with the basketball, Reeder. To the baseline to Werdinger. Dribbles to the free throw line. Now dishes a pass off down low to Nicodem, cutting to the hoop. Right down the middle of the lane, and he lays it off the glass and in from the right-hand side. And Kimberly is on the board, trailing 4-2 as the Cardinals' Corey Higgins brings it up. Bounce pass, right-hand side, Drew Diener. Again, a baseline jump shot from 17. In and out, no good. Andy Moline tracks it down for the offensive rebound in the left corner. Now the Cardinals swing it around the horn to Casey. Diener inbounds to Jekyll. Back to Diener. Back out top for Corey Higgins between the circle. And Higgins feeds Casey Jekyll on the right wing. Andy Rose, free throw line jump shot. Partially tipped and blocked. And the rebound pulled down by the Papermakers. Bukowski ahead to Werdinger into the front court. Behind the back dribble. Now left-hand side for Valentine. Valentine back out top for Werdinger. Looks for the shot, doesn't take it. Andy Rose is on him. Right-hand side to Ryan Nicodem, posted up high. Baseline jump shot from 3 on the way by Valentine. Off the side of the rim, no good. A rebound comes down to the Cardinals. Corey Higgins sets up the offense. Bounce pass, Andy Moline, left baseline. He gets the ball to Casey Jekyll. Drives down the left side of the lane, tries to pass inside to Rose. Tipped away, but controlled by the Cardinals. Rose with a 15-foot jump shot, baseline, left-hand side. In and
Just
out.
a little bit strong off the glass, but Casey was hammered on the play. He goes to the line.
7 left to play in the opening quarter. Cardinals up 5-2 on your Mike's Music scoreboard. Second rebound off the back of the rim. The rebound comes down to Nicodem. Ahead to Werdinger in the front court. Right-hand side, Bukowski with the basketball. Casey Jekyll on him. Cross court to Nicodem. Now he backs it up at the top of the key. Back to Bukowski on the right-hand side. Driving down low is Wright Reeder. Cross court pass, Werdinger. Baseline jump shot from 15 for the southpaw on the left-hand side, off the back of the rim, no good. A rebound to Andy Moline, his 4th.
Tonight's basketball game, he really seems to be crashing the glass for the Redbirds.
Inbound to Corey Higgins, goes around to Rose, screen to the free throw line. Here's a bounce pass to Drew Diener, a jump shot from the baseline, no good, off the back of the rim. The 5th rebound for Andy Moline to keep the ball alive for the Cardinals. Casey Jekyll dumps a pass down low to Moline, goes up strong to the hoop.
Into Moline. Once he gets that basketball, Greg, within about 5 feet, he is so strong and powerful. You never see him usually miss the shot, or what happened there. He'll go up and either get fouled or make it. Glad to see Andy Moline get back into the flow offensively here tonight.
First free throw for Andy Moline is off the front of the rim, no good. A couple of substitutions for the Papermakers. Dave Bergheist, a 6'2 junior, checks in along with Keith Hauschel. Second free throw on the way for Moline is good. And the Cardinals extend their lead to 6-2 on your Mike's Music scoreboard with 4:45 left to go opening quarter. Into the front court, Bergheist with the basketball. Top of the key for Hauschel. Baseline, right-hand side, Reeder. Gets it down low for Bergheist. Tipped away by Diener and then knocked out of bounds. And the referee said it went off of Bergheist's hand out of bounds. And so the Cardinals will inbound. Cardinals may have gotten a break. Corey Higgins will bring it up across the timeline. Left-hand side for Casey Jekyll. Back to Diener on the right wing, about 20 feet out. Diener back out top for Higgins. Now the right-hand side, Andy Rose lobs a pass down low for Moline, goes up for the shot.
Very powerful young man. Got the rebound, went right back up, missed the shot, but gets 2 free throws.
Andy's first free throw is off the back of the rim, no good. He'll have one more. He eyes the bucket. The shot's in the air. It's in the bucket. It's good. 7-2 Cardinals by 5. 4:15 left to go, opening stanza. Bergheist brings the ball up across the timeline. Dribbles to the right-hand side, now back to the free throw line. Cut off there by Diener. Reeder with the basketball on the right baseline to Werdinger at the top of the key. Back to Bergheist. Top of the key for Nicodem. Nicodem dribbles to the free throw line. Andy Moline on him. Tries to work his way inside. Now dishes off to Hauschel on the baseline. His shot rejected by Jekyll. Knocked out of bounds. Whose ball? They're going to say
an even up call right there, because that one went off a Papermaker and they gave it back to him.
Werdinger dribbles inside the paint. Fade away from 12. No good, off the front of the rim. Long rebound to Hauschel to keep the ball alive for the Papermakers. Three-pointer on the way for Werdinger from the left wing is good. And the Papermakers pulled to within 2 at 7-5 on the three-point shot by Mike Werdinger, the 6'2 senior, from the left-hand side. Casey Jekyll dribbling with his left hand to the free throw line. Dishes back to Higgins at the top of the key. Bounce pass, Andy Rose, right-hand side. About 15 feet out, good. Andy Rose with his first bucket of the ball game, Tom, and the Cardinals back up by 4. Down the lane, Bergheist feeds Hauschel on the baseline, left-hand side. 15-footer on the way, good. 9-7 Papermakers to within 2. Just under 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter, and Corey Higgins will walk the ball up across the timeline. Feeds a pass on the left-hand side to Andy Moline, top of the key for Andy Rose. Now the Cardinals swing it around the horn. Casey Jekyll on the baseline, right-hand side. His 15-footer goes 16. Rebound pulled down by Werdinger. Into the front court between the circles. Werdinger behind the back dribble. Dishes off for Bergheist on the left wing. Bergheist looking inside. Now he brings it out top. Bergheist with the basketball brings it all the way over to the right-hand side before he gives it to Nicodem. He leans in from just inside the free.
He has a chance to tie this ball game up.
First substitutions for the Cardinals. Dan Schrum checks in along with Mike Koenigs. So it's Schrum, Koenigs, Drew Diener, Andy Rose, and Andy Moline.
I believe that's his third point of the night, Lou.
3 rhythm dribbles. The free throw is on the into the Papermaker lineup. Ryan Nicodem has a rest on the bench. Mike Koenigs now controlling the rock at the top of the key. Andy Moline over on the right-hand side for Danny Schrum. Schrum takes 1 dribble, leaves it for Andy Rose at the top of the silo. Left baseline for Koenigs, back to Rose. And now the Cardinals on the perimeter with the basketball. Mike Koenigs. Bounce pass inside to Rose. Slices around Hauschel. Misses the shot. Off the glass, off the rim, no good. Papermakers pull down the rebound. Kimberly with an opportunity to take the lead for the first time in the basketball game.
Well, that was a nice
inbounds, right-hand side to Reeder. Reeder back out top now as the Papermakers swing it around the horn to Valentine. Dribbling down the left side of the lane, loses control of the basketball.
Court blew his whistle, and always wonder why a ref right in front of the play doesn't blow his whistle and the one 30 feet away does. And that actually basically was a turnover because Fond du Lac, Schrum had that basketball. They call a jump ball, and it goes back to Kimberly.
Left-hand side for 3. Reeder with the bucket. It's good. Reeder with the three-pointer from the right baseline, and it's 12-9. Kimberly leads by 3 with 1:13 left to go in the opening quarter. Mike Koenig straight down the middle of the lane. Beautiful dish off to Jekyll.
For the lay-in, he was fouled on the play. Casey will have 2 opportunities.
First free throw for Casey is good, and the Cardinals now in double figures with 10 points, trailing the Papermakers by 2. Casey will have 1 more opportunity. Free throw is on the way. Good. Cardinals to within 1 at 12-11. 1 minute left to go in the first quarter. Bergheis between the circles moves the ball over on the right-hand side to Hauschel at the top of the silo. Right-hand side for Reeder. Koenig's on him. Reeder backs it up all the way near the mid-court line. Bounce pass left-hand side for Valentine. Valentine dishes off to DeBruin on the baseline left-hand side. Back to Bergheis at the top of the key, passes up on the three-pointer. Baseline Reeder, fadeaway 15-footer, good. Reeder with back-to-back buckets, and Kimberly up by 3, 14-11 with 31 seconds left to go in the quarter.
Kimberly has really heated up the last 3 or 4 shots. I think they got 3 in a row now and have a 3-point lead at 14-11.
Papermakers in a 2-3 zone as the Cardinals apparently playing for the final shot. We're down to 17 seconds. Fondy spreads it out. 13, 12, 11, cross court. Diener for 3, left-hand side, good. Drew Diener from 21 feet out on the left-hand side ties the score at 14. Down at the other end, 3 of 10 shooting, and Kimberly 4 of 8 from the field. To take us through the rest of the first half, Tom Biolo. Tom?
All right, Lou, Fondy gets the basketball to start the second quarter of play. Drew Diener with it, free throw line on the left-hand side. Andy Rose for a 16-footer, no good. Danny Schrum with a rebound, no good. Gets a second opportunity, shot from behind, no good. But right there to pick up the garbage is Casey Jekyll. Nice job by Fond du Lac on that particular trip. 4 opportunities, and Fondy leads it 16-14. Kimberly, with the basketball. Werdinger on the top of the silo, right-hand side. Fadeaway 16-footer, in, out, no good. Drew Diener with a rebound. Here comes Drew now, transition. He'll pop from 3. No, he dishes off inside for Rose, who misses 1 lay-in, misses 2 lay-ins, and then on the third time he gets blocked from behind. Boy, there was all kinds of contact inside and nothing called there. Rose looked like he got mugged several times and no call made. Kimberly comes away with the basketball. John Reeder, left-hand side to Nicodem. Little 5-foot hook from inside the lane is good. And we are tied at 16 apiece. And I know Dick Diener, Greg, not very happy with that last set of circumstances with Andy Rose, But the Cardinals come down and get a 3-pointer from. We had some problems with our microphone. Was that Drew? Drew with a 3, and I apologize. Cut out just a little bit there. Kimberly now with the basketball. Uncontested lay-in by Chad Valentine. He beat the defender to the baseline. Take the basketball and cross the line before they get it in bounds. Well, tic-tac lane violation, they call it on the Redbirds. So with 6:14 left, Fondy 19, Kimberly 18. Papermakers inbounds. Mike Werdinger, baseline on the right-hand side. Gets it back to Nicodem, still on the right-hand side. They swing on the perimeter now to Jason Bukowski, who goes left-hand side to Reeder. He drives baseline, lobs it over the top of the defense to Nicodem. Running one-hander off the window and good. And Kimberly has the lead, 20-19. Seesaw job, Luft.
Well, and Nicodem leaning in. Andy Moline was guarding him, but Ryan Nicodem now has a jump hook and that bank shot from about 10 feet out on the right-hand side.
Fondy with the basketball. Drew Diener, baseline, 14-footer, no good, but a foul is going to be called on Chad Valentine.
His team had to rebound well. They've been doing that here in the first half, and he also talked about shutting down Drew Diener, Andy Rose, and Casey Jekyll. They've done a fairly good job of that in the first half, but it's been an evenly played first half to this point.
We got 5:40 left. Drew's first is good, so we're tied at 20 once again. Drew gets a second opportunity. It's on the way in good. Cardinals with a 1-point lead, 21-20. Papermakers with it. They'll walk it over the timeline. John Reeder, left to right. Papermakers in their white unis, red and black numerals and trim against the Redbirds in their traveling Cardinal red jerseys and the white and black numerals and trim. Papermakers, Werdinger, baseline on the left-hand side. Yo-yos his dribble back to the free throw line extended. Launches a three, and he put it up and in. They live and die with the three, Loop. They're the leading three-point team in the conference. Werdinger drained one there from about 22.
Now, Werdinger is the best three-pointer on this team, and that was a fadeaway jump shot for Werdinger.
Cardinals with the basketball, trailed by 2. Drew Diener on the baseline. Fondy now swings on the perimeter to Danny Schrumpf. Free throw line extended on the left-hand side. Back on top to Drew. Drew will hold it. Now dribble to the top of the silo. Dishes back to Jekyll. Into the lane. Back on top for Drew. Three-pointer. No good. Scramble for the rebound. A long board comes to Higgins. He goes inside. Land of the Giants, and he's fouled on the way in. Corey Higgins.
And 5'8" Corey Higgins now at the charity stripe to try to tie the game.
Higgins going after his first point of the game. First free throw on the way and long. Oh, it went in. I thought it was long, but he drew 2. Fondy trails by 1. 4 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in the first half of action on your Mike's Music scoreboard. Glad to have you aboard tonight. Fondy Cardinal hoops on the sun. Higgins' second free throw, long, no good. Rebound, Mike Werdinger. He quickly comes to the forecourt. Baseline, right-hand side. Oh, that'll send Mike Werdinger to the free throw line. Got the natural touch from the left side. He's an excellent three-point shooter. We know he does an excellent job from the line, and his first free throw is good. Kimberly leads it 24-22. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left here in the first half. Werdinger gets his second opportunity. Left-handed shot is perfect. It's 25-22. Cardinals trailing by 3 on your Mike's Music scoreboard. Right to left go the Fondy Cardinals. Higgins through the double circles at center court to Casey Jekyll. Jekyll with it about 25 feet. Left-hand side now. Higgins with the basketball to Andy Rose. Rose inside for Drew. His shot is blocked. No good. Rebound controlled by Werdinger. Here comes Werdinger. Right-hand side. Down the lane. Shot on the way. Blocked by Rose. But underneath for the rebound. Another shot is blocked. And Keith Hauschel is going to be going to the free throw line on another block shot that is called a basket they put in. And now Kimberly just with a little bit of momentum here, a three-point lead, trying to add to that right here.
Well, Kimberly's a good ball club, Tom, and it's always tough to play on the road in the Fox Valley. It's always tough to play in this gymnasium in particular, and the Cardinals right now find themselves trailing by 4.
Hauschel makes 1 of 2. It's 26-22 Kimberly. Halfway through the second quarter. 3/4 way through the first half of action. Higgins into the forecourt, left-hand side to Casey Jekyll. Jekyll to Schrum. He'll launch a 3. Long. Rebound tipped, controlled by Kimberly. Ryan Nicodem comes away with it. Outlet pass to Werdinger in the forecourt on the right-hand side. Werdinger, couple of dribbles and back on top to Greg DeBruin, who just checked in. DeBruin into the lane now, left-hand side. Keith Hauschel. Shot no good, but a rebound controlled by DeBruin, and Kimberly resets the offense. Bergheist, light right side, shot on the way. It was taken by Ryan Nicodem, no good. Drew Diener with another rebound. Here comes Drew to the forecourt. Right side, baseline, stops, pops, long, rebound, Nicodem for Kimberly. So the Redbirds in a shooting funk. The last 3 shots they've missed, and the score is 26-22. 3:10 left in the first half of action. Left-hand side, that's Bergheist with the basketball. Lobs it in for Nicodem. He was open on the cross leg.
Onto the basketball, Tom. It would have been an easy layup.
26-22, Fond du Lac trailing by 4 on your Mike's Music scoreboard. 3 minutes left here in the first half of action. Jekyll with it to Rose, left-hand side. They lob it for Drew. On the baseline, he's hammered and falling away. Drew was shooting the shot. They're going to say the foul was before Drew attempted to put it up, and they will give Fondy the basketball out of bounds.
I think they're going to say that Drew was pushed. That's why he was falling down before he took the shot. And
well, that's the 8th foul. It'll be a bonus situation.
Right, it's going to be a 1+1 for Drew.
26-22, Kimberly in the lead, Drew at the line in the bonus. First free throw is good. So the Cardinals crawl back to within 3, 26-23. 2:52 left here in the first half. Drew, number 21, at the line. Second free throw on the way and perfect. 2-point Cardinal deficit at 26-24. Kimberly with it. Dave Bergheist left to right through the double circles at center court to the top of the silo on the right-hand side. Bergheist to Nicodem, free throw line extended. He threw it back to Bergheist. He left, but Greg DeBruin fortunately was right there for Kimberly. Now a steal by Higgins. He banged it out of bounds. Reader's knee out of bounds.
Well, just a great defensive play by Corey Higgins, reaching around to steal the ball. And as Corey was falling out of bounds, he grabbed the basketball with his right hand and slapped it off the leg of the Kimberly player to give Fondy the ball.
Fondy with it, forecourt. Left-hand side, Rose at the free throw line. Now into the corner to Schrum. Schrum one dribble back on the top to Andy Rose. They go cross court to Higgins. Higgins with a bounce pass to Drew, but it's stolen from behind. Dave Bergheist steals it. 2-on-3 basketball. They'll hold it up. Right-hand side, DeBruin, 23-footer. In and out, no good. Danny Schrum with the rebound. Kimberly is not afraid to fling it from anywhere. Drew now. Top of the silo to Jekyll on the left-hand side to Schrum. Right back to Drew. He goes down the lane, dishes off to Jekyll. His shot is on the way and good off the backboard. KC and the Sunshine Band has tied it at 26 all.
Good pump fake by Jekyll and a good pass from Drew Diener inside. And just like that, we're tied at 26.
Nicodem with a rock. Top of the silo on the left-hand side, now into the corner to Reeder. He takes a couple of strong dribbles. Baseline 16-footer, no good. Nice rebound by Danny Schrum. Outlet pass to Higgins. Over the timeline to Jekyll down the lane. His shot is rejected, but a foul is going to be called on Keith Hauschel. And Hauschel really got up there. Line. Cop, how many does he have tonight so far? 4 on the night. 5 on the night for Jekyll. Make that 6 as he drains the free throw. 27-26 Fond du Lac. 1 minute, 22 seconds left here in the first half on your ever popular Mike's Music scoreboard. The Sunshine Band second free throw is good. Cardinals lead it by 2. 28-26. Kimberly with it left to right on your WFDL radio dial. And what was that? A palming call on John Reeder. Did he palm the ball?
It was a close call, but the referee said yes. I couldn't tell from here.
All right, well, if we're Fond du Lac fans, we'll take it, I guess. Higgins with it. Forecourt now, right-hand side to Jekyll, into the corner to Schrum. Right back to Jekyll, about 17 feet out. Cardinals right now playing perimeter basketball. Higgins free throw line extended on the left-hand side. Dribbles to the corner, bounce pass to Jekyll, reverse move to the lane, back out on the left-hand side to Higgins. Magnum PI, right back into Jekyll. He gets underneath the hoop and then has to just throw the basketball right to a Kimberly papermaker. Here comes Reeder with a basketball. Forecourt right-hand side, Hauschel in the corner. Back out on top now to Valentine. Into the corner on the left-hand side. Hauschel with an 18-footer. It went 19, but Mike Werdinger got the rebound. He goes back, flings up a 3. It's no good. Is going to be called on, I believe, Keith Hauschel of the Kimberly Papermakers, and that'll send Danny Schrum to the free throw line for the Redbirds, and that'll be 2 free throws, Greg, because that was the 10th team foul.
Brought it back outside the three-point arc and launched it from there, and again aggressively going after the rebound. The foul was called, but with 3:12 left now, from this point on in the first half, the Cardinals will be shooting 2 every time they go to the line.
Danny Schrum's first free throw is good. 29-26 Fondy by 3. Schrum gets a second opportunity. Second one on the way, in and out, no good. Rebound Nicodem. 3-point Cardinal lead, 30 seconds left. Kimberly with it. Fork court over the timeline. Dave Bergheist, the 6'2 junior. Left-hand side now, Valentine, the 6-foot junior. He goes into the corner on the left. Still with it to Werdinger. Werdinger with a bounce pass inside. 5-foot shot on the way by Chad Valentine. No good. Casey Jacob with a rebound with 10 seconds left. Here comes Fondy. Higgins, left-hand side, Schrum. 4 seconds left. Schrum lobs it inside to Jacob. Shot on the way. Good at the buzzer. And Fond du Lac. Barbecue sauce and salsa sauce courtesy of Mike Casillas and the good folks at Casillas Foods, borderline products of Fond du Lac. We're all set for the third quarter. Cardinals lead at 31-26. Stepping back in with a call. Once again, here's Luft.
All right, thanks, Tom. And the Papermakers inbound on the far side to start this third quarter of play. Goodrich in the lead, 31-26 on your Mike's Music scoreboard. At the top of the key, Werdinger, the southpaw, guarded by Andy Rose, goes around a screen, dishes off to Nicodem, cutting toward the hoop, and he lays it up and in. 31-28, just like that. The Papermakers are to within 3, 7.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Corey Higgins across the timeline. The Cardinals moving from left to right across your sundial. Baseline jump shot for Higgins from 10 off the front of the rim. Ball goes out of bounds and last touched by Bukowski for the Papermakers. Inbound to Andy Moline, right-hand side, and Mal lays it off the glass and in.
I said it before, he is so strong bringing that basketball up. Al just muscle it over everybody and put it up and in.
33-28, Cardinals by 5. Werdinger at the top of the key, feeds it down low for Nicodem. He gives it to Bukowski, double team. They dish it back out top for Werdinger, and his three-pointer brings the Papermakers to within 2 with just under 7 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Werdinger red hot, 11 points in the game.
One thing that happens when you switch on Kimberly, especially inside, they look for Werdinger back outside for the 3.
Andy Rose drives down low, puts up a running 5-footer off the glass, off the rim. No good. Here come the Papermakers. Werdinger, bounce pass to Bukowski, cutting to the hoop, misses the layup. Cardinals pull down the rebound and quickly bring the ball up. Down low on the baseline to Andy Moline, left-hand side, underneath the bucket, and then he lays it off the glass and in. Andy Moline, a couple of pump fakes, Tom, and he put it up and in. He's got 8 points, 4 in the second half.
Again, very, very strong. That time, 2 or 3 head fakes. Mal finally got the right opportunity and put it off the window.
Werdinger, three-pointer from the baseline, right-hand side, no good. Corey Higgins gets the rebound for Fondy. Bounce pass, Casey Jekyll, straight on inside the paint from 8, good. 37-31, Cardinals up by half a dozen on your Mike's Music scoreboard with 5:50 left to go in the third quarter. Werdinger with the basketball on the right wing, free throw line to Nicodem, and we've got a foul going to go against the Cardinals. I think Andy Moline is going to be called for reaching in.
Yeah, Moline was trying to break through a screen to get out and get his guy, and he pushed the defender out of the way. That's Mal's 3rd personal foul, and that'll be a big blow to Fond du Lac. Keep in mind, Andy Moline has 8 points tonight, so not only has he done it rebounding, but he's been a scoring threat tonight for Fondy inside. Really helped them to this 6-point lead right here.
And he has to come out of the game with 3. Dan Schrum checks in. Now the Papermakers inbound, and we've got a whistle and a foul away from the ball, and the foul is going to go against Corey Higgins. I'm not exactly sure what the call was, but
he held the jersey of one of the Papermakers, so Higgins is called for his first personal, 2nd team foul on Fond du Lac here in the third quarter.
Inbound out top to Valentine, between the circles to Reeder. Reeder backs it up near the midcourt line, guarded by Higgins. Right-hand side to Valentine. Valentine takes a couple of dribbles, back out top for Reeder. Nicodem now, right-hand side, top of the key for Bukowski. The Papermakers swing it around the horn. Werdinger now with a 3-pointer from the top of the key, and it's good. Werdinger, he just can't miss anymore, and it's 37-34, Papermakers to within 3.
I think he's a better shooter, Greg, from outside of 20 than he is from that 14, 15-foot range.
And he's got great touch from the outside. Baseline jump shot, left-hand side, Casey Jekyll, it's good. From about 12 feet out, 39-34, Cardinals by 5. 4:50 left to go in the third quarter. Here's a three-pointer on the way for Valentine, no good. Offensive rebound, Nikodem. His jump hook from 5, in and out, no good. Drew Diener tracks down the rebound for the Cardinals and brings it up. And Diener, slicing in between two paper-maker players, draws the foul. And I think Ryan Nikodem is going to be called for getting Diener on the arm.
You know, the thing about Fond du Lac, Greg, that is so impressive, they have so many weapons. We've seen Casey Jaco very steady all season long. We've seen Andy Rose really pick it up and be the leading scorer at times. We've seen Andy Moline now tonight offensively get the job done. Higgins is doing a nice job. Schrum is doing a great job. Moline tonight offensively doing a nice job. They have so many weapons from so many different angles.
Cardinals inbound, swing it around the horn. Dan Schrum with the basketball to Andy Rose at the free throw line. Rose left-hand side for Drew Diener, back to Corey Higgins. Andy Rose to Dan Schrum on the right-hand side, down to 4:20 left to play in the third quarter. Cardinals with a 5-point lead, make it a 7-point lead on a 17-footer straight on by Casey Jaco, who's really come on strong late in the second quarter, and here in the third, he's got 15.
You talk about a steady Eddie. Casey Jaco's been there all year for Fond du Lac.
And Nikodem with a jump hook, 7 feet out, no good, and it goes off of one of the paper makers. Last to touch it is Dave Bergheis, and so the Cardinals get the ball in backcourt.
In that last flurry of me mentioning names, I don't even think I mentioned Drew Diener's name. He's the leading scorer and really the catalyst of this basketball team.
And he scores. Drew Diener banks it off the glass and in. The right-hand side about 13 feet out, and Kimberly wants a tie.
12 points in the third quarter so far.
They've outscored Kimberly 12-8 to start this second half. Now the paper makers following the timeout with 3.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. They bring the ball up. Reeder with the basketball. Far side pass tipped out of bounds off the hands of Bergheis. Another paper maker turnover, and the Cardinals get the ball back.
Congratulations to Gary Statz of Fond du Lac, tonight's halftime trivia winner. Correctly answered the question, who are Bill Parcells' two quarterbacks for the Giants in the Super Bowl victories? Jeff Hostetler and Phil Simms. Congratulations, Gary, and thank you for listening to WFDL High School Hoops, the Fondy Cardinals.
Casey Jaco with the basketball to Danny Schrum. Top of the key, Drew Diener. Three-pointer on the way, no good, but he draws the foul. Drew will go to the free throw line to shoot 3.
You know, I'll tell you another thing Drew has really learned this year over last year. He has really learned to draw the foul, a.k.a. Adam Zakis. That time, Drew got to the top of the silo about 21 feet, and he took the shot, and he kind of hung in the air an extra half second to draw the foul on Bergheis, so Drew earns 3 freebies.
First one, in and out, no good. Spun around the rim a couple of times and then popped out. And Drew will have 2 more opportunities. Greg DeBruin, a 6'1" senior, replaces Dave Bergheis in the paper maker lineup. Drew Diener with 2 more. First free throw on the way, good. And he's got 1 more. He's 1 of 2.
It's really been fun watching him develop since his freshman year, hasn't he? He's really a good kid, quiet kid. Just really been a good time watching him develop as a player for Fond du Lac.
He makes the 3rd free throw, so 2 of 3 from the free throw line for Drew Diener, 45-34. Not only a great player, all of these players seem like really nice young men.
I was going to say that. They got the chemistry, Greg. They're very friendly young men and doing a great job this year.
Here's a steal by Dan Schrum. Steps in front of a baseline bounce pass to pick it off. Another paper maker turnover. Andy Rose at the free throw line. Dribbles down low for Corey Higgins. He drives baseline. He goes up for the shot. It's blocked by Hauschel. He hands off for DeBruin, who gives it to Reeder, and Reeder will bring it up and set up the offense. Werdinger 4-3, left-hand side front of the rim, no good. Long rebound to Higgins, over to Dan Schrum. Schrum's pass to Rose is picked off by Werdinger, and the paper makers down the other way. Werdinger's pass at the top of the key for Reeder is stolen away by the Cardinals.
Great job by Higgins. In hockey, they call that back-checking, Lou. Higgins just hustled back and stole that pass. Great job of defense by Magnum PI.
Give and go. Higgins to Schrum. Misses the layup. Rebound to Schrum. He goes up again. It's blocked by Nikodem. And here come the Papermakers. Reeder with a spin move inside the lane, a running 10-footer is good. And it's 45-36. Papermakers to within 9 with 1:45 left to go third quarter. Higgins will walk the ball up across the timeline for the Cardinals. Now he loses his dribble and he is fouled by John Reeder.
Was there a technical called in there too? Yeah, I think there was a technical call. I'm not sure who it was on. The ref did call a technical after the foul was called on Fond du Lac, and I'm not quite sure who it was on, so we'll have to wait and see. Drew will shoot. They called the foul on Kimberly, so Fond du Lac will have 2 free throws here and the basketball. They called the foul on Kimberly's John Reeder.
He was the guy that was called for the personal foul, reaching in on Higgins. Now Drew's at the free throw line to shoot the technical. And the technical free throw, the first one is good. Drew will have one more. That is the 4th team foul on Kimberly. Second technical, good. Now the Cardinals will inbound on the far side at midcourt with 1:39 left to play in the third quarter and an 11-point Goodrich lead.
Well, you know, it really didn't seem like there could be an 11-point lead in this game the way it started off in the first half, but Fondy has nearly played a flawless third quarter, Luft.
They have played outstanding here in the second half. Mike Koenigs gets the ball stripped away from behind and then diving to the court. Koenigs and De Bruin, and they get tied up on the alternating possession. However, the Cardinals will maintain possession of the basketball. Drew Diener will inbound to Koenigs, and Koenigs will bring it up again, guarded by De Bruin. Brings it into the front court on the left baseline. He's going to shoot it from there off the side of the backboard. Rebound right into the hands of Casey Jekyll. His shot blocked by Nicodem, and the rebound pulled down by De Bruin.
Well, Nicodem's done a nice job. He's got about 4 or 5 blocks tonight for Kimberly.
De Bruin with the basketball at the top of the key. 1:05 left to go in the third quarter. To Hauschel, lobs it over on the left-hand side. They get the ball down low to Nicodem. His turnaround jump shot from the baseline, 10 feet out is good, and he's fouled. And Ryan Nicodem, the 6'7" senior, at the free throw line to try to pull Kimberly to within 8.
Well, he posted on the baseline on the left-hand side, made a nice little reverse pivot, and then took the jump shot, was fouled by Andy Rose. There to within 9, and Nicodem could draw them to within 8. Within 8 with 56 seconds left here in the third.
Free throw is good. Nicodem is perfect from the free throw line tonight. 47-39, Cardinals by 8 on your Mike's Music scoreboard. Under 50 seconds left to play in the quarter. Casey Jekyll, right-hand side of the baseline. 10-footer on the way, good.
17 for Casey and the Sunshine Band. Another nickname for him. He's Steady Eddie, man.
49-39, Cardinals by 10, 32 seconds and counting in the third quarter. Nicodem posts up high at the free throw line, looks inside, nothing there. Back to Werdinger, about 30 feet out, holding onto the basketball with 20 seconds and counting. Kimberly maybe playing for the final shot of the quarter. We're down to 15, 14, 13 as they spread it out.
Well, I never did like playing for the final shot, especially when you're down 10. To me, it doesn't make sense, but Kimberly maybe doesn't want Fond du Lac to get any much of a bigger lead.
3 seconds, 2. Werdinger, turnaround, 15 feet. Extended left-hand side from the free throw line, no good. And that's the end of the third quarter of play. On your Mike's Music scoreboard. Back in Kimberly, Greg Stensland, Tom Biolo, and Scott Vandenberg. 49-39, Cardinals by 10. To take us through the rest of this exciting basketball game, Tom Biolo. Thomas?
All right, Greg. Kimberly gets the basketball, and on a nice pass from Werdinger inside to Keith Hauschel. He lays it off the glass. It's an 8-point Cardinal lead, 49-41. Just underway, fourth quarter. Drew with the basketball into the forecourt, left-hand side to Moline. Now on the right-hand side to Higgins. Higgins bounce pass top of the silo to Casey Jekyll. Jekyll holding the ball there, looks right-hand side into the corner to Drew. 19-footer on the way, short. Rebound, Andy Moline with another board for Fondy. He's trapped in the corner. Moline back out on top to Drew. Right-hand side, now Jekyll. Left-hand side to Higgins in the Cardinals swing. Here comes Drew, down the lane, shot on the way. They're gonna call an offensive foul on Drew on the way in. They say he jumped into the defensive player. Turnover, Fond du Lac. Kimberly gets it back, 49-41 Cardinals lead. Just a little bit of a momentum switch here to start the fourth quarter, however, Greg.
If they come down here and get a basket, Tom, they can get to within 6.
Papermakers with it. John Reeder, right-hand side in the forecourt, now to Werdinger. Left-hand side, they swing to Chad Valentine. Back on top to Reeder. Right back to Valentine. Free throw line extended. Into the corner. Hauschel, left-hand side. Shot of the way, no good. Scramble for the rebound, controlled by Jekyll. Outlet pass up the center of the court to Higgins. Here comes Magnum P.I. right-hand side to Danny Schrum. Now the Cardinals reload and set up the offense at half court. Jekyll with it. 25 feet out, straight up left-hand side to Mal. Moline back to Drew Diener, who came from inside out. Top of the key, about 25 feet. Drew goes on the left-hand side to Higgins. Bounce pass inside. Jekyll goes to the hoop and lays it up and in. 19 on the night for Jekyll. He just beat Nicodem with his feet, Greg, and laid it in.
Good, strong move to the hoop again. You said it in the pregame show with Dick Diener. When one player may be having an off night, there's always somebody to pick up the slack. For the last 3 or 4 games, Andy Rose has been the leading scorer. Tonight, Andy's not
As we come back to Kimberly, John Reeder with a basketball, can't handle it. It rolls out of bounds and the Papermakers turn it over. So Fondy gets it back with a 10-point lead, 51-41. The Cardinals and the Papermakers on the Sun. Jekyll, forecourt, right-hand side to Andy Rose, who checks back in after the timeout. Rose a couple of dribbles, left-hand side to Drew Diener. Drew along the sideline, dribbles back to the middle of Magnum P.I. Higgins with it. To the center of the court to Jekyll on the left now to Danny Schrum. Lob it in for Drew. Nice baseline, underhand shot. Drew used the hoop, Greg, went all the way underneath and beautifully laid it up and in.
What a great reverse layup by Drew Diener, but it was the head fake that got him to the baseline.
And now a steal by Jekyll. Here comes Casey. He lays it up. He's fouled on the way in. What a performance by Fondy. Jekyll with a pickpocket job. A la the thief quickly, Greg, from all areas of the court.
Well, you're right. I mean, it was a very close game in the first half, but the Cardinals exploding in this second half, opening up a 13-point lead. Right now, their biggest lead of the game. Casey Jekyll having a monster game tonight.
Playing very well. Everyone contributing tonight for Fond du Lac. He's got 20. Second free throw, no good. Rebound tipped, controlled by Jekyll. Back out to the free throw line. The ball is tipped out of bounds off Kimberly. Oh my, there was 3 Kimberly Papermakers that tipped it out of bounds and they give it to Kimberly. Well, okay. Kimberly basketball, it looked like it went off them anyway. I guess we're 30 rows back, so it looked like it went off Kimberly. Maybe it did. 54-41, and now a basket is good for Kimberly. Ryan Nicodem makes it 54-43. 4:40 left, fourth quarter, an 11-point Cardinal lead. Jekyll double team near half court, left-hand side to Schrum, into Higgins. He'll lay it up and lay it in. Higgins laid it up and in. It would have counted anyway if it didn't go in. They were going to call offensive goal or defense. WFDL radio dial. 56-43 Fondy on your Mike's Music scoreboard. Reeder, top of the silo on the right-hand side, lobs it in for Nicodem. Oh, it was almost stolen by Jekyll, but the pass then went right to Nicodem and he laid it up and in. 11-point Cardinal lead. 2-on-2. Andy Rose all the way in on Nicodem. His shot is short. Battle for the rebound. Jump ball called, and the alternating possession arrow belongs to Fond du Lac.
Well, it's just been one of those nights for Andy Rose. He's not getting his shots to drop. Andy, the second leading scorer on this Cardinal team, and again, Nicodem 6'7". He's a force inside. He's had about 4 or 5 block shots.
And now Fond du Lac unable to get the basketball in, a 5-second violation. So Kimberly gets it back. And let me remind you, this game is not over by any stretch of the imagination. 4 minutes remaining, so a lot of time. Cardinals by 11. Kimberly tries to bounce it inside. It's kicked by Higgins, and Fondy will keep the basketball. Turnover, Papermakers. Higgins in the backcourt to Casey Jekyll, now to the forecourt, right in front of Dick Diener at the bench. Jekyll with a bounce pass to Higgins on the free throw line, extended right-hand side. Higgins then dribbles back out near half court, and Ryan Nicodem steps in and commits the foul, and I believe that's the 7th team foul, or 6th, excuse me. 6th team foul on Kimberly, so the next one will result in the bonus situation for Fond du Lac. Drew gets it inbounds to Dan Schrum. Right back to Drew, right-hand side with a basketball. Looks as if Fond du Lac's going to spread it out a little bit, Luft, and run some clock.
Well, yeah, take a couple minutes off. You got 3:32, but now the Cardinals turn it over.
Well, Casey Jekyll had it tipped out of his hands by Ryan Nicodem, and then it went off Jekyll out of bounds. 3.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Cardinals 56, Papermakers 45. Here comes Dave Burkheist. He lays it off the glass, and an awkward-looking layup, no good. And nobody followed up there for Kimberly. Kimberly just fell asleep on that play. And the Cardinals will take it. Fondy with a basketball. Fort court, Drew Diener, left-hand side to Casey. Jekyll back to Drew now, near half court. Drew high over his head, right-hand side to Jekyll. Free throw line extended, right-hand side now. Andy Rose with it, back near half court. Cardinals moving the basketball, using the entire half court region. Drew with it, right-hand side, drives baseline, into the lane. Jekyll with a no-look pass to Schrum. Schrum put it up, no good, but a
line now in the bonus situation, actually shooting 2, so he'll be shooting two.
All right, and Danny Schrum makes the first free throw, 57-45 Fondy. Schrum with a second opportunity, about 5 rhythm dribbles. Free throw on the way, perfect for Schrum. Little string music there. Cardinals again by 13. John Reeder with it, right to left on your WFDL radio dial. Into Burgheist. Shot on the way, he got it off to Werdinger. Shot was no good. Rebound controlled by Fond du Lac. Higgins, bounce pass right-hand side at half court to Drew Diener. Drew now into the forecourt. Double teamed in the corner, gets it back on the right-hand side to Andy Rose. Right back to Drew in the middle of the court. Drew with it, tight roping the half court line, now into the lane, right-hand side, and Fond du Lac doing a nice job running clock here. Drew with a basketball. As he got to the top of the silo, he was fouled on the way in. Drew then with a little one-handed, probably about an 11-foot one-handed underhand shot. It went in, and he was looking for the NBA continuation, but he shot that about 5 seconds.
On the highlight tape that the camera up here, right in back of us, he'll want to see that.
Well, yeah, it was an underhanded 11-footer that was nothing but string. Drew makes the first free throw, and boy, Fond du Lac really making this thing look easy late, and I'm surprised at Kimberly. Boy, their last couple of offensive series, Greg, they've been horrible.
Well, the Cardinals at this point, they're out hustling the Papermakers right now, both offensively and defensively, and getting position on the rebounds.
Kimberly with a basketball. They try to get it inside to Nicodem, and Drew Diener with a beautiful steal. Into the forecourt to Jekyll. He'll lay it up. Overlaid it. No good. Rebound, John Reeder. One of the first shots that Jekyll's missed this evening. Reeder with a basketball to Chad Valentine. Top of the silo. Valentine tries to back up for a 3. Nothing there. They go right-hand side. Jason Bukowski. His shot is long, and Casey Jekyll pulls down the rebound in the corner. 1:40 now left in this basketball game. Cardinals by 15, 60-45 on your Mike's Music scoreboard. Drew Diener just inside the half-court line, right-hand side. Now near the half-court stripe, goes to Schrum. Schrum to Rose in the corner on the left. Back to Schrum in the middle, right-hand side to Drew. And Schrum was fouled as he was passing to Drew Diener. So Danny Schrum, Kaukauna Ghosts, and I know the Fond du Lac Cardinals would love to beat Kaukauna and avenge that early season loss. Well, Schrum missed his free throw, but hustled and got his rebound. Kimberly has kind of sleepwalked through the last 5 minutes of this game. Cardinals work it inside. Danny Schrum gets a beautiful pass from Drew Diener, and Schrum lays it up and in. 1 minute left here in the ball game. Fondy 62, Kimberly 45. And it's on your Mike's Music scoreboard. Chad Valentine goes left-hand side. Three-pointer for Werdinger on the way, no good. Werdinger gets a long rebound. Back to the left-hand side to Valentine. He will launch a 3 and hit. 19-foot, 10-inch shot by Valentine was good. Cardinals get it in bounds. Higgins is immediately fouled. Blaine checks in. Brad Reinke checks into the Redbird line. Hopefully makes both these free throws. Kimberly also a new unit in there. Higgins free throw on the way, good. 63-48, Fond du Lac. Boy, what a performance by Fondy here on the road against Kimberly. Really dominated, especially late in the third quarter and almost the entire fourth quarter.
Well, it was a close first half, Tom. The Cardinals pulled away toward the end of the second quarter after trailing in the second quarter to take a 5-point lead at the half. But the second half, Tom, has been all Fond du Lac. They've dominated offensively and defensively.
All right, for Fond du Lac also checking into the lineup, the ankle biter, Nate Stoichs. Kimberly with a basketball, right-hand side to Bruin. Into the corner now, tries to get it back on the top to Bergheist, does so. Bergheist with a basketball, lobs it inside, nearly stolen away, but a foul is going to be called on Ryan Blaine of the Cardinals. And Kimberly will have the basketball out of bounds now, just tries to inbounds, gets it left-hand side to Frank May. His short jump shot is no good, and then the rebound is tipped out of bounds by Bob Flores, and Fondy will have the basketball. Diener to Brandow. Over the timeline, left to right. Jake with it into the corner to Ranke. He'll launch a three. No. Rebound controlled by Kimberly. In the corner, that's Frank May with the basketball. Dave Bergheist into the forecourt. Three-pointer on the way at the buzzer, no good. And this one